Hello and welcome to my Daemon X Machina guide, in which I will succinctly go over all the hidden and undefined mechanics and features this game has that they just don't bother either telling you that they exist or what they even do. The first thing we're going to go over is this hidden ice cream parlor shop over here. In order to unlock it, you have to be rank D and then buy 20 ice creams after reaching rank D. Then this question mark icon will appear underneath the double scoop. This is where you purchase all your weapons and armor you get from multiplayer boss missions. Once you've unlocked or received the corresponding blueprint for them, you'll see a cost in both credits and ice cream tokens there, and it's one or the other. You actually don't need both. It just gives you the option to get things for free if you have enough ice cream tokens. I made the mistake of thinking that you need both, and I built every piece of weapons and armor in the game for ice cream tokens, so that way I can get my boss gear. Don't be like me, learn from my mistakes, you can just use credits. And the next important thing that the game just fails to mention at all is the melee cross attack. In order to use it, you have to have a melee weapon in each hand, and you just attack with them at the same time, and you'll move forward with an attack like that, and it deals the full damage of both the weapons at the same time. And to determine the refresh rate and the distance, it uses the specs of the lowest of the two weapons you have equipped. And that's why the meta build right now is the double Anfang Archers, because of its ridiculous attack length there, and refresh speed. It lets you really chase down people and beat down people in PvP nicely. The katana weapons in this game have a value called melee attack chain, and it's somewhere between 1 and 5. And what that does is it lets you do a melee chain equal to the number on the weapon. So if you have a katana with a value of 5, it'll let you do up to 5 of them. And what those are is if you hit an enemy, and even if it survives, if there's another enemy within melee striking distance, even if you're not looking at it, you'll immediately teleport to it instantly and do a faster than normal attack on it, and you keep on doing them up until you hit the number of melee chains you have. If you have a melee chain of 5, you can do it 5 times. And if you dual wield katana weapons, you could alternate going between left and right as you do the chain, and you could add their chain values together. So if you have two weapons that each have a chain value of 3, you can do a total of 6 chain attacks before you have to restart it. And this is more of a PvP trick here, where if you're moving in the air and you start a melee attack, you could press dash really quick and cancel out of it. And that's just really nice for avoiding the animation lock if the person you're trying to hit moves out of the way really quick. Embarrassingly, I just found out about this pretty recently, but you actually could reload the magazines on your weapons without emptying them. On PC, all you do is you hold down your F key and then just attack with them, and it'll initiate a reload there. And in order to use the scope on a sniper rifle that the tooltips keep telling you should use but doesn't tell you how, all you have to do is be on the ground and press control while not moving, and it'll bring that up for you. The game has an extremely important stat called memory in it, and with it being so important, of course it makes sure it doesn't tell you what it does. But what memory does is it directly affects your lock-on time. And what having a lock-on on an enemy does is it lets you compensate for their movement. So once you have that red lock on a target, you'll start anticipating their movements with guns, and you'll start anticipating their movement with melee attacks too. It is, in my opinion, the absolute most important stat in this game. And it's really recommended that you have a lock-on of at least below 0.5 for just general use. And if you want to do PvP, you really need to get that below 0.32, or else you'll just be missing all your shots. The best processor in the game, therefore, for PvP is the memory up. That one really helps get that lock-on time under control. It's also recommended that you don't run a back weapon for PvP. If you look on the back weapon here, if I take off my barnacle, it lowers my lock-on time to 0.31. Back weapons are huge memory sinks, and they also add on a ton of weight too. And weight directly affects speed in this game. I added 1,000 boost speed to my huge heavy mech just by taking off the barnacle. Weight doesn't affect all mechs equally either. If you take the same weight of gear, the same piece of gear, and you add it to a mech with a heavy core, which is a heavy weight value, or a light core with a lightweight value, it's going to slow down the light core way more than the heavy mech. So if you want to make a high performance, nimble, light mech, you really have to be careful with your weight. The next thing the game doesn't outright tell you about is exploration mode. And what exploration mode is, it's an online multiplayer Warframe S mode where it generates random tile sets for you to explore. And in those you find the best weapons and armor in the game. It's where you get that Anfang Archer I showed you guys earlier, which is considered to be the best melee weapon in the game by quite a bit. I would agree with that. And it's also where you get high rank mods to put in your 3-slot gear. So I'll show you my mech over here. And if you take a look at it, in all my weapons I have a lot of damage amplifiers 5s and 4s. And damage amplifier 5s increase the damage of the weapon by 20.2%. So if you load it full of those, the damage increase is just huge. And it's really essential for PvP. Other mods I really like are enhanced flight systems on the cores. It's how I get such a fast move in heavy mech. Exploration mode is also where you get these attachments that allow you to increase your boss weapon sockets. Boss weapons usually only come with one socket, and if you find one of these in the gear that you find in exploration, and I can up it to 3 to make it viable for PvP and highly competitive. And they'll look like these. And I'm going to show you guys a bug that I love. So, you could actually bug these into any piece of weapon or armor you have that is the same type as the boss weapon. So it has to be like a bullet weapon to a bullet weapon, a body piece to a body piece, like a left arm. Or I think all the arms are interchangeable, so from any arm piece to any arm piece. So I'll show you how to do that here. So you go to attachment inventory. We'll go for melee combat here and enhance equipment. And we'll go to melee. Alright, so here's an Anfang Archer, and it's one of the hardest 3 slots in the game to get. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you don't see any of the boss weapon slot increasers as is intended. But the bug is if you press R and sort without leaving any of the menus and sort by any value. And I'm just going to sort back to ID order so that way I get to the bottom and show you them right away. Then the boss slot increasers actually show up as an available mod for any weapon. So this shows the expanded slots for the Chronos Blade and the Chronos Blade 2, which are the boss melee weapons. And you can just click on them, install, and get a 3-slot Anfang Archer, which is one of the hardest things to farm. I didn't realize this until I actually already farmed mine the hard way after over 100 exploration runs. But this is a quick and easy way to actually get yourself some of the more elusive 3-slot weapons and armor. And lastly, we're going to go over what weapon fire rate actually means and what armor fire rate support means and how they matter. So, unfortunately with this game, just adding more fire rate or fire rate support does not automatically make your weapon shoot faster. It only actually has effects once you hit a certain threshold. That's a combination of both. So we have a graph here that'll depict exactly how that relationship is and how to build your mech. I got this graph off of the community Discord, and they explained it to me and how it works, and I can't recommend them enough. They're a fantastic group of people, and it's a great way to get groups for online multiplayer bosses. They hold PvP tournaments, and I'll have a link for them down on the Discord. You absolutely should check them out. But how this graph works now is you see these curves, and on the bottom and tops of these curves you see 1F, 2F, 3F, 4F, 5F, and what the F stands for is frames, and that's how many frames elapse between each firing interval. So this would be 1 frame, 2 frame, 3 frame, etc. And if you're on PC, this is the numbers for Switch. So if you're on PC, it double those, so it'd be 2, 4, 6 frames, etc. And to see where your weapon is, I like the Guilty Throne, I'll use that. You see different fire rates in case yours isn't listed on here as a preset, or you put added mods that increase the fire rate on your weapon. But the Guilty Throne right here, if I want to find a good fire rate arm for it, I look on up and I see that if I get just under 200 fire rate support, I can get it up to that 6 frame mark, and if I really push it up to around 250, I could get it up to that 5 frame mark, and everything in between is just wasted stats. So it really helps you optimize your build, because you just don't want to throw on like the max variant of all the mods you want to use, because they use up memory. And even if you don't go over the cap of the memory allotment on your core, it adds to lock-on rate, and lock-on rate is a really important stat if you want to hit anything that's moving quickly. So that's how fire rate works. And that's it for my Daemon Ex Machina guide. I hope you found it useful. This is all the stuff I wish I knew before I played the game, and a lot of it I didn't actually figure out or find until I already beat the game, so I hope it helps. If it did actually help you, please like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, if you need any help with anything or any builds, or just want my thoughts or opinions on anything, leave a comment and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Enjoy your day. Take care.